What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapl. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Thor. His name is Swissboy. The map is Midgard. It's currently 1-0 in this best of 5 series for the Voobly Champions League promotions/relegations, where the winner of this series does move into the Champions League Season 2. The loser will have to participate in the Challengers League and fight for their spot to get back into the Champions League Season 3. So, Swissboy taking that first game with some beautiful Zeus play. Changing things up now, going with the Thor on Midgard. Thor is considered a very, very strong Midgard god. He's one of the weaker in general gods, but on Midgard he does shine. He gets a huge bonus economy from this dwarven gold mine early, which allows him to spam out fishing ship and get a really strong early game economy going. And then from there you can defend, you can get town centers, and then a Ragnarok on this map is huge because of how open the map is and how small the land mass is. So those Ragnarok heroes can get gold stars very, very simply. However, this is one of those situations where you're basically playing some sort of a mirror against the Odin player here. The Odin player gets access to everything that is strong about Thor except for the cheap armory upgrades. And where he lacks in the cheap armory upgrades, he does make up for in the units regeneration. So the special ability of Odin is regenerating HP, and it does affect the Ragnarok heroes as well. So you can do some if there is a Ragnarok fight that ends up happening at the end of the game, you might see Rapl try and abuse that by taking a fight and then retreating units back that are low HP, and that would be a strong move for him. So we'll see how Swissboy manages to deal with that, and if it even becomes a point there. Because the other thing is Swissboy could go for a Bragi play here and go for a timing on the land, while Rapl goes for water hard or some sort of situation like that where he can hit a timing before Skadi comes in, before Frost comes in as an option. Let me just... Nope, that's not it. There it is. Alrighty, so what else we got? So second doc coming up already for Swissboy. And interesting to see this fish over here. I feel like players have not, well, some players definitely have, but players haven't quite adapted to Midgard. It's had so many different iterations. And what is tending to happen on Midgards nowadays is that your town center spawn will have the vast majority of fish very close to that corner. So the town center will spawn basically in one of the corners of the maps, and you will get the vast majority of fish in those corners. If you check out over here, you can see all the fish up on this side, and the same thing for Swissboy going up this side. And he's unfortunately gone to this bottom side of the fish, so he's going to be very upset about that one. And these fishing ships here, very inefficient over here, moving fairly far back, and that's the thing there. And yes. So Swissboy throws the temple up here, and the more fishing ship are coming up to the top of the fish here. We've got Sonora in the chat asking how hard is it to defeat a Titan bot. I got some videos on the tubes, on the YouTubes. They're called Boit vs. a Titan. If you want to check those out, you can see how hard it is. That's an updated Titan AI, and it's much stronger than the original one. And they're very, very fun games indeed to watch, and mostly just to watch me suffer. So Freya's now coming in for Rapl, and Swissboy not advancing just yet. The other thing that Odin has over Thor that I didn't talk about, it's not happening in this game, is Heimdall. Now Heimdall in the Norse mirror is very, very strong because you get access to Einherjar in the classical age, which boost your units' attack with their special. And that pressure you can put on with them sometimes is way too much. But Rapl obviously just sticking to his tried and true Freya, not wanting to shake things up too much. And he is going through Freya here. Same thing for Swiss, but a little bit further behind at 50% compared to the completely upgraded. So that's 30 seconds behind in terms of the advance time. But there's a forward dock already up here for Swissboy. And Rapl's already going to be producing his longboats. We see Purse Scene coming through. We're checking out Rapl. He's got 12 fishing ships. Swissboy's got 15. So the extra 30-second advance time for 3 fishing ships, probably not the best usage there. But such is life. Herso now popping out for Swissboy as he's ready to possibly do something on the land here. We see a longhouse already coming down for Rapl as well. I like this preemptive usage of this. Normally we see people delaying longhouses and such in the Norse Mirror for just more longboats, but it looks like just 2 docks for Rapl here. And that's the thing here. Fishing ship coming in. We do see an early forest fire here, possibly going to get a villager kill, but nice path blocking there by Swissboy. Maybe a little bit unintentional. Does manage to get that villager away without losing its life there. So nice play. Another gatherer for Swissboy needs to come back to the right spot. We are seeing these Swissboy villagers moving up to the top. At this point, you just put them all onto the same wood line there. Surely these are very, very out in the open. That Valkyrie may be able to come in and snipe that low HP villager a little bit later. Meanwhile, we're seeing a Rapl hitting this dock from 2 sides. He's on both sides, but the longboats are already out for Swissboy, hitting these longboats here. We still don't see any longhouses out for Swissboy. He's pumping out ships. He's going to be seeing all the fish that he could have had on the top of the water here. Just kind of gambling wrong there, going to the bottom side where there is much less fish here. And now we've got the longboats pushing Swissboy back here. Nice play from Rapl, going to pick off both of these. And Rapl trying to micro a little bit, but probably should just sit here and get the extra DPS down. He does manage to do so. And Swissboy going to be hurting a little bit on this water so far. But totally fine to lose this forward location. It's not that important. He can utilize it to raid Rapl a little bit, who's cut out his production here. The Valkyrie of Swissboy getting pushed back here by the Herso. There is a forest fire that can be used onto Rapl's base. He's already got some Herso chilling on top of this location. A second longhouse up. We do see the first longhouse for Swissboy as he's got a bunch of Herso already out right now. Meanwhile, the longboats of Rapl moving in, going to be hitting the fishing ships, pushing Swissboy's advantage back a little bit. We do see the forest fire coming down, but again, I don't like these forest fire usages. These villages are going to be idle for like maybe 5 seconds as they move to a second wood location over here, and it's just not value. Save it for a bigger raid or something where you can get some path blocking in, and throwing the Valkyrie away there to the Herso. It does manage to pick that Valkyrie off. Big win for Rapl. More longhouses now coming in for Swissboy. Looks like he may be considering a transition here. Rapple's obviously also cut his production areas. It looks like he wants to get to the next stage, throwing up his armory right now. No military production just yet for Swissboy. He's throwing up his own dwarven armory over here as well. How is the resource situation? Swissboy very low. Does he have Purse Scene? He does. I'm surprised to see him so low on the food right now, but I guess both players producing units pretty big now. Medium cavalry coming in for Rapl as he loves the raiding cavalry in this matchup. But honestly, you can go for super upgraded Thor units here, and it's a little bit more efficient. You get Ulfsark, you get copper mail and copper weapons out, and you kind of beat this army of the Odin player. So we'll see how that goes. But now the Raiders can start moving in. Hit this location would be a good idea. He's got the Valkyrie as well. And the units moving in, going to be hitting this longhouse. Swissboy not reacting to it just yet. Now going to be spamming out Ulfsarks, but he doesn't have any upgrades for them just yet. So it may not be the best idea. He has to actually retreat away from them. You can see the HP difference here. 115 to 143 HP. So the Herso do kind of beat the Raiders, but they obviously cost a lot more than them with the 80 food. And now we see a little bit of a raid from Swissboy getting deflected by Rapl here. Going to be able to clean up all these longboats. Some longboats for Swissboy sitting on the top of the map here. And Swissboy not paying attention to this at all, losing all of his longboat pressure. That's huge for Rapl, as now he's going to be completely safe to take this location down, then push forward and deal more damage to Swissboy's water while he's dealing damage on the land map. Swissboy not able to deal with what Rapl's doing here, taking down another longhouse. And he is completely shutting down Swissboy, who's the Dwarven army is about to fall. We do see medium infantry coming through. Got a couple of throwing axemen here. Now the army for Swissboy sort of ready to attack. And the gold mine has been moved here. So if Swissboy can get a big fight here and win it, so for example, getting out, he is getting copper mail, go for this. Don't go for the second town center. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Tithing attack here would be huge with bronze mail. If he didn't get this second town, so put these villagers maybe over onto this hunt or something and went for a really big timing push. But now he's just going to be greeted with a Skadi or something. As you can see, Rapl's food starting to get up there. The gold going to get up there as well. Dwarves for Swissboy moving over onto this location. The Raven checking this gold mine. Obviously nothing going to be there just yet, as these dwarves are moving into this location here, as Swissboy sitting 2 town centers. Not producing any villagers just yet. And he is making those throwing axemen out. He's ready to move forward. The Raiders still looking for something to hit. Checking out this wood line. Swissboy has reacted to that preemptively. And now he is ready to move out as he knows where the Raiders are going. The Raiders have to come and hit this location. These villagers can move over onto this wood line now if they want. And it's looking like the Raiders just taking a little bit of damage from the town center. There's no crenellations here for the watchtower, so these Raiders don't take a lot of damage with this location here. And that's the one. And these units still not attacking here. The villagers do move nicely. The Ulfsar coming in to defend this location. I like that. Going to be able to hit these Raiders a little bit. We do see a couple of units getting thrown away here. Swissboy happily fighting this. Rapl actually making a little bit of a mistake there on that one. And the longboats, looks like Swissboy, I missed a fight on this. Looks like Swissboy's cleaned up a lot of what Rapl had on the water here. And he's in a pretty good position, but we will be seeing Skadi coming through now for Rapl. Copper weapons coming in as well. The raid on this gold mine, not going to be able to do anything as the Ulfsark chasing him around. And now Rapl making a move in. He can frost this location, throw up a hill fort here, and it could be an option for him, but he doesn't even need to at this point. We've got all these units very much out of position. How many resources does Swissboy have? He's got enough to advance here, so he should be able to do so. But the Frost Giants are going to be spammed out for Rapl right now. It's going to have a big advantage there. Still throwing away more units here. Can just retreat away from this gold mine and gather wood for the time being, or Warhorse or anything else with these villages. Does not need to be on this gold mine here. We will be seeing a Frost coming in fairly soon, you have to imagine. Well, I guess he might be a little bit scared that something else might come in. Do see Skadi coming in for Swissboy. The Frost Giants getting greeted by all these Hursa. A very different situation to a normal land fight here, where the Odin player normally won't have that many, but heavy infantry, that many Hursa, but heavy infantry coming through for Rapl during this fight, going to completely change the tides of this battle. And the Frost Giant getting very close to getting picked off, but the Hursa no longer attacking it. Swissboy struggling for population in night, but both players at a very similar pop count here, as Swissboy is actually somehow managing to stay relevant in this game, even with this huge timing push coming in. The villagers do get pushed off this gold mine. Swissboy hits the heroic age, and a frost comes in for Swissboy. Got to be careful to move these dwarves off, because the frost coming in onto these dwarves going to cut all of that gold income. That's, what's that? 14 villagers idle in that frost there. So huge. Are we going to be seeing technologies? We can't. Rhyme coming through for Rapl right now as well. He's got so much gold in the bank. He's got gold coming through up here as well. So many villagers gathering that gold, and more Frost Giant will be coming in for both players. And this point of the match in the Norse mirror, especially Thor or Odin mirror, all comes down to Frost Giant micro. If you can frost your enemy Frost Giants like what happened here, you get such a huge advantage. And we do see that coming in. As you can see, this Frost Giant stays frozen for exactly the same amount of time that, Jesus, it does manage to freeze both of them there somehow. But it freezes for 20 seconds, and that's that. Funnily enough, both of these Frost Giants will be able to freeze each other there for the rest of the game if no other units come in. But more Hersa are coming out at this point. The villagers unfreeze here, and the population 105 to 103. So both players very similar situation here. However, there's just so many more Frost Giants tanking units here for Rapl than Swissboy has. Now I've got Swissboy moving in with some Valkyrie here because he doesn't have the gold to produce anything. And this is a big mistake. You need to have more gold villagers. He does have some up here on this gold mine here as well to help out. But it's not enough units to deal with the army of Rapl that's coming in here. We do see more. I've got to micro those Frost Giants better. But I click on the right unit there. It does manage to finally freeze that Valkyrie there, which is going to prevent the Frost Giant from going down. And the Valkyrie will fall. This gold mine getting pushed off here. Dwarves getting frozen in their place. And Swissboy not managing to control this location for the time being. And now Rapl getting a huge advantage here. 110 population to 80. And Swissboy so low on food, on resources, on gold, on wood, on everything right now, as it's looking like Rapl is now hitting this top location, this top gold mine, and a Frost Giant coming here as well to push off this spot here, as Swissboy looks like has been completely shut down here. Does pick off some more villagers as this is all going on. And it's looking very grim for Swissboy. Does he have a market up to trade? No, he does not. So he can't even trade for gold to get a last-ditch effort here. Another Frost Giant coming in, going to attempt to hit the Frost Giant of Rapl. Does manage to get that one there. So a little bit of a win there. Going to get some free damage, maybe even pick off one Frost Giant there. But the reverse happens to Swissboy on the top of this. And with the Hersa there to help out, going to pick it off very, very fast. Now there is no gold income. Well, he is still getting gold on this gold mine. I was going to say no gold income, but very little gold income for Swissboy. And we do see the Frost Giants get picked off by this other Frost Giant moving in. Realizes he's got the advantage here. He has a special ability, whereas Swissboy does not, and he will be retreating that one, but does manage to somehow find the range to hit Swissboy's Frost Giant. But more Frost Giant coming in for Rapl. He has a 4. He has a 4 Frost Giant. 114 of 115 population for Rapl, just ignoring town centers, just going completely all in onto Swissboy here. And it's looking like it will be working as he's managing to have an eye on both of these gold mines here and this gold mine over here as well. And now the Frost Giant can make their way onto this town center. They do act as sort of act as siege weapons with the extra 12 crush damage. So they're doing like 30 something damage and attack. Can, I guess, take a little bit off for the hack damage, so maybe 20 something damage for every attack. And this town center goes down very, very fast indeed to 4 Frost Giant. And the villagers moving away onto the wood potentially is the only resource that they can kind of gather right now. And this is looking like it's lights out for Swissboy. Rapl's food economy being shut down by all of these longboats here as well. But it's just not enough here, as now we're seeing a second town center coming up. Rapl grabbing Swissboy's forward town center, taking this town center out here and doing the nasty deeds that he has been doing here. And Swissboy looking for something, but cannot get it, and does decide in the 17-minute and 46-second mark to tap out. GG, all played by Rapl. All came down to that heroic age timing because Swissboy grabbed that town center. It is so vitally important in the Norse matchup to stay one town center and either force your opponent to stay classical age with you by consistently fighting, or get your heroic age timing in there. Otherwise, you simply just lose to the early heroic age, to all of those Frost Giants. And you see how much advantage Rapl got with those heavy throwing axemen and the extra Frost Giants. And it was just too much for Swissboy to overcome. GG, well played by Rapl, leveling the series 1-1. If you enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow button on Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.